Hey everybody, this is Way to Fail with another Scrolls Let's Spectate! And today we're jumping into round 4 or round 5 of the very early game between Bart and Nibenon. Both of these players are very high rated. We do have an order versus energy matchup, although I'm still looking to assess the decks to see if there's going to be another splash here. But Bart, definitely a very friendly player name here, but he has moved his way up in the rankings a bit, so all capitals and an underscore for you. But Nibenon here playing with some state machines, Inferno Blast, and all that good stuff, Blind Rage as well. So I guess part of the issue is, what are we going to get on these draws? This is going to be a very exposed Wings Captain. As you can see, the Law Memorial here, because this is, if I didn't mention it before, I believe a Judgment game. So we do have Bart playing Judgment here with an energy order deck, which is a unusual combination. You don't see that too often. But unfortunately, just the one-for-one swap right here, favoring Bart at this point. Quick burn, though, by Nibenon takes out the other creature here. I don't know why I said favor. Well, it does favor Bart because he wasn't about to be attacked. But Nibenon looks like he is Nibenon, whichever you want to call it. Looks like he's playing a growth splash as well, and that's kind of what's funny with Judgment, is that sometimes you just got to roll with the cards that you get, and you may be thinking, this is a really good energy deck, until it's not. So Bart getting his own ramp up, getting a Ducal Skirmisher down. Looks like he's had a pretty good draw here. Nibs here as well. Scout Automaton, Gravelock Elder, Cannon Automaton. Some really, really nice toys to play with here. And he's not even showing his growth yet. He's not really having to tip his hand. The Ragged Wolf burn could be strong with him. And Bart sacrificing the Copper Automaton, which is interesting, but it's not going to be able to kill this Gravelock Elder outright. So there's not always a great incentive to play it. He's going for the early game ramp. We could be here a while. This is what happens with Judgment. Sometimes you get some really fast games, and sometimes you don't. So just got to take a little bit of time to think about this. Nib. Could put out a state machine that is a worthy or interesting play, but looks like it's going to be the Cannon Automaton as well, so he's going to go for the big creature spam in the middle, and that is so hard to deal with in Judgment, especially if you can somehow luck into multiple Elders. Bart holding on to both of his burns, but it's not going to be a world of greatness this turn. Meanwhile, Nib once again getting a Dust Runner, so getting some pretty good solutions for cards that Bart might be showing here. Not even once again having to tip his hand. He gets an Automata Forge as well. Looks like Nib may be getting out in front with this pretty quickly. Does he want to put the Charge Code down to the Automata Forge, though? There's benefits and drawbacks to each. The Dust Runner is especially nice if Bart starts to drop down some other smaller creatures. State Machine plays very nicely with the Dust Runner. And there we go. There's the Dust Runner up top. So whatever he starts playing is going to be Dust Runner food. First idle death for Nib, as Bart is going to be Fury. Fury is a card that is not going to benefit Bart at all. So there's the burn. He gets a Heritage as well. Does he want to sacrifice for card draw? He's going to put it on the Law Memorial. So that's not necessarily a great place for it to be, but I mean, he doesn't have a lot of options at this point. Nib here. He's actually going to go for the Law Memorial. No, he's not. He's going to put down the Ragged Wolf. That's why we save that. Charge Coil as well. Just a great turn of events. Clear board. And Bart's going to have to put down something at some point. But with that State Machine and that Dust Runner coming, his options are severely limited. Unless he wants to Thought Trap something. Might be useful against the Gravelock Elder as he burns the Charge Coil, gets the extra card, gets a Dust Runner of his own. But this could be a Thought Trap time. I don't necessarily know if the Ducal Infantryman is going to be the best play with the State Machine out, but you got to get some stuff on the board at some point. So he does cast a Thought Trap, but he casts it on the Cannon Automaton. Well, that's one way to do it. Wings Captain, which once again, if you put it with the State Machine, that means the Dust Runner is going to be able to take it down if the Dust Runner could get an attack there. Nib playing with a Breaker as well. Both of these players getting some especially nice draws for their hand, but not holding on to it because you got to roll with the resources that you're putting up. He is saving an Incendiaries for another possible rainy day, depending on what Bart wants to throw down. And here's going to be some more direct idle damage and a brief pump to the Automata Forge. is now Bart's got to really think about how he is going to come back on this one. Because he's got some creatures, but he's got a state machine that's going to be an issue as well. Does he start to spam clock libraries? There's one. That's a defensive clock library. Nibe, though, with an incendiaries in his pocket, is going to be able to take this out. Puts down the poor ducal infantryman that takes some more damage as well. No blessing of haste here today, though. So Bart electing to hold on to that. He has plating. He can drop another Gravelock Elder, though, and if he does, that's going to be a really, really horrible turn of events for Mr. Bart. So who's going to have a good time here? Who's not going to have a good time? Gravelock Elder. Is that going to be the play? Is it going to be a Copper Automaton? Plenty of options available here, so the only issue is Copper Automaton. That could be a good finisher card here. And Bart getting a little bit of creatures out. He could go for the state machine, but it's not really going to do a lot of good at this point. He could try and move his units down, but he does kind of want to protect his board here a little bit. So really, unfortunately, not a lot that he can do to play with. Clock Library could be a good play, but once again, these things just kind of die. Right now, that first Clock Library is marked for death, at least with the two Elders. With the state machine down, that state machine really screwing up his day. So there's the other Clock Library. Is he going to get some creatures down in time, though? He does have the Blessing of Haste for the Wings Captain. But he's got to make some plays to get back into this game in a hurry. So just got to sit here, wait it out a little bit. We got 90 seconds to roll over. And he's just going to end turn. He's going to sit on 6 order. Really wants that state machine to get out of his hair. So here we go. Nibe, can you do it? Can you make this happen? He gets an Inferno Blast, so that's good. Oh man, that Inferno Blast is actually really key right now, because that's going to expose the Wings Captain again. Assuming, or he could even play, let's see here, if he plays Incendiaries, that could do it, but the Inferno Blast right there, putting down 4 damage, and this poor Ducal Infantryman is going to die as well. Copper Automaton as well, pinning down the Wings Captain, so Nibe having the cards that he needs, making a huge board presence for himself. This energy draw is just fantastic. As Bart, not a lot left to do. He has some creatures. There's no state machine there, but oh man, has he got a lot that he's got to deal with. So what has he got here at this point? The Charge Coal is not going to save him, but it may be a good defensive play against the Copper Automaton that's coming. Although you don't like having a sacrificial Charge Coil. No, he's going to go ahead and, let's see here, he could drop a Copper Automaton of his own. That'd be a worthy defender here. Those 2 Gravelock Elders, though, that is rough. Let's see here, he does have the Heritage Copper Automaton combo, so when this dies one way or another, whether it's the Automaton or something else, he could get some cards out of it, but what else is he going to do? Right now he's facing the possibility of being down 2 idols. He gets the Automaton down there. Is he just going to let the Wings Captain be sacrificed? Is that the plan? He's going to Blessing of Haste. Or is he going to Efficiency Blessing of Haste? He could kill one of the Elders. But that Wings Captain, though, you gotta do something to maybe protect him, or you're just gonna hope you can draw something else. So there's the Winged Soldier. He still has enough for efficiency. And there we go, efficiency, Wings Captain, blah blah blah, everything there, all of his cards in his hand, and that guy is gone. So a little bit of a comeback there for Bart, but is it going to be enough with so much on the board for Nibe? He does have plating, he does have incendiaries, he does get a Clock Library of his own. Right now it's just going to be a battle of attrition because that Clock Library is going to get blasted. So right away, what do we got here? Is it going to be better for Nibe just to start pumping his Automaton or Automata Forge, or is he going to start putting down his Clock Library a little bit? He could play plating on something. And is it going to be on the Gravelock Elder? Yeah. So that would have been nice if he had the foreknowledge to know what Bart was planning on doing, to maybe play plating on the other Gravelock Elder, but then you just target the other one. Of course, it's a matter of who's attacking next. And right now, Bart with the loneliest Wings Captain in all the land. As right there, just holding up your spear and rallying the 0 troops that are all around you. Bart getting another Clock Library, which at this point, the Clock Libraries are just turning into 4 resource walls. Law Memorial not doing a lot of good either. Ugh, just a bad time right now. And this is what happens sometimes in Judgment. You get outdrafted, and then sometimes in Judgment you get outdrawn. In this case, it may look like it's a little bit of both. So what's it going to be for Mr. Bart here? He does drop a bunch of creatures. Once again, just trying his best to protect his Wings Captain as best he can. How many times can I say best and not make it awkward? But this may be the time for Incendiaries. He can actually clear Bart's entire board here with just one play. That's right, just one card is all you need. Check out YouTube to find out more. Oh, he gets rid of Incendiaries. That would have cleared this entire board. It would have done damage to the Clock Library, but he's just going to be content to leave the Wings Captain alive. He could have taken out the entire board just by clearing that one structure. I guess he was saving the Incendiaries for a different board spam situation, as is the Wings Captain is still there. There is some hope for life potentially for Bart, although the avenues for making a comeback are diminishing very, very quickly. I don't think he really needs a resource ramp at this point with another Law Memorial. What he needs is some form of creature, some form of something that can help him out. So Bart assessing the situation. I half wonder if there's going to be a surrender here, but no, he's not going to surrender. Could do a Thought Trap on the Cannon Automaton again. Could play a Ducal Skirmisher and Copper Automaton. He'd be top decking, but at this point he's got to get some crap on the board. So there we go. There's crap, and Thought Trap on the Cannon Automaton. Is that the play of the day? Especially in case Nibe draws some kind of Bombard. And there we go, Thought Trap, but the Thought Trap is on the Gravelock Elder, so it looks like Bart's sacrificing some idle damage on the bottom here just to try and keep pace with the top row. But of course, remember, this Gravelock Elder does have plating, so it is a little more protected. And humorously enough, in a way, Nibe, at least with the way he's moved his units right now, almost doesn't seem to care too much about the fact that there is a potential idol that he's about to lose, although he can drop. He only really needs to drop just a few things to protect it, but no, it looks like he's going to let Bart take that idol if he wants to. Because at this point, yes, you do need 3 idols to win, but with so much on the board, it's kind of just a matter of time here. So Potion of Resistance on the Clock Library, good defensive play, more idle damage, and lots of attacking automatons next turn. There is a board problem here, as we do get Incendiaries. Does that change anything? No, he ditches it for cards, because that's the problem with top decking. So he gets a burn, and a burn is a fascinating card. Right there, one of the creatures down. He gets a focus as well. Focus could be good, but not nearly as good as you'd like, because unfortunately, plating here is gonna... Let's hear. He could get rid of the plating with the Copper Automaton, because that reduces damage one time. He could focus the Ducal Skirmisher and go through here and clear the Copper Automaton as well. It's something. And at this point, with the game on this kind of board hell, something is what you got to roll with sometimes. So Bart moving his units back down. He didn't play his Siege Cracker, actually. Gets more cards. Storm Runner is pretty interesting. Charge Coil is pretty interesting. Probably better at this time to get cards out that'll actually win him the game. Things like Cannonetta. Well, Storm Runner is a good board clearing card, but it doesn't do a ton of damage. Charge Coil do 1 damage, a little zap every time, and he can play it up there to protect some creatures. He's going to get some card draw from the Clock Library as well, so he's dropping all of his stuff up there. State Machine is going to be good to slow down any comeback attempt that Bart might be attempting. As once again, Judgment, you get just some of these kind of matchups. 2 idols down. And right now, if Bart cannot protect his 3 or 9 health idol, that is going to be it. We get a little bit of lag once again. But right now, he's not getting the cards he needs. He's just kind of getting the cards that he gets. So nothing to kill off this guy. Probably would have loved some kind of Blessing of Haste or Speed Up card, assuming he has it in his deck. But Bart, as is, just dropping everything down. State Machine doing what he can here, but he's got to move his units up, or that is going to be the end of the line. So there is a Charge Coil as well. And there you go, that's the end of the turn. So Clock Library gone, and that's going to be GG right here. Bart not moving his units up. The burn goes to Nibenon, and that's going to take out the charge. He didn't burn the Charge Coil. Why? Why do you do that? This is what I've been seeing a little bit lately, is people prolonging the games, and he could have won just by moving his cannon automaton and burning the charge coil. You got to just get 3 idols. But that Wings Captain, definitely a burn magnet to the point where Bart is still in the game, and that could have been it. And I know I have definitely been guilty of being the person that could have ended the game, and did not end the game. But right now, that could have been it in round 18. And while Nibe has a gargantuan advantage, is Bart going to get the cards he needs to come back? A Kabonk's not going to do a lot of good. He can draw a Kabonk with a Kabonk, but he can't play a Royal Vanguard. Siege Cracker could do something. So he's just going to try and health up this idol on the top. Siege Cracker on the bottom is at least going to deter 2 idol damage. And that charge coil hitting the wrong thing. That state machine is just fleeting. And there we go. Scout Automaton. That's nice. Scout Automaton, for those of you who do not know for sure, all automatons you control get +1 attack. Devastating card. Don't really see it played too much, though. And once again, he gets a Violent Dispersal. And he's not going to be able to end the game here either. But he can play the Scout Automaton to do some extra damage. And he could play the Cannonetta or try and pump his idols. Once again, getting the breaker, not using the breaker. But the Scout Automaton just sitting up top, kind of exposed. I kind of preferred that if he would protect that card if he could. But what do you get? The most important thing that you get is a big-ass, scary Cannon Automaton with 6 attack. This poor Ducal Skirmisher is going to be dead in a minute. There he is. And another creature down. 5 idols, or 5 damage to that idol. 5 health to that idol, 3 to that idol. I don't know, apparently my brain's just getting a little bit zonked because this game could have ended, it could have been over. And Frostwind is going to be fantastic for this whole bunched up units right there. So Cannon Automaton's been delayed 1 more turn. You don't want to play Fury with Frostwind as well. Fury is a horrible, horrible card in this situation. So there's a Kabonk trying to draw something else. And I think Bart has already drawn, so he's stuck at this point. With a 1 health Dust Runner, a Royal Vanguard, they're going to be the very best of friends till the end. And what has he got now? Violent Dispersal on the Vanguard, so that's delaying what could be. And just shuffling his units around. Playing it, I guess, a little bit slow. Blind Rage not really going to be the end there. The Charge Coil ending this. And what do we got? We got plenty to try and defend with, but I don't think that he has enough resources to play everything he needs to play. He plays the Clock Library up here, and actually that Clock Library is going to save the day if Nibe can't put any direct damage on it. And it doesn't look like he can. So that clock Library, just doing the maths a little better than I do, saving another turn. But once again, there's a burn. He can burn his way to victory. He can burn this. He can burn this. He's playing Incendiaries instead. Why? Nibe, you could have done it. There we go. He did it. I can't math. There we go. I don't know why my voice got so high. But there's the ball game, folks. Bart and Nibenon showing once again that energy is a very popular choice and very easy to splash and pretty good to use in Judgment. But right here we have a game between Bart and Nibe that could have ended a little sooner. Still, what tends to happen, especially in an energy versus energy matchup, is that if one person can kind of outdraw his energy opponent and get more creatures on the board, get things on the board, get stuff while denying the opponent creatures, units, things that'll help him out, then it's going to be the ball game. And I think the cannon automaton, a big creature like that, helped tremendously, as did the Automata Forge, because there was never anything Bart could really do to affect that. So overall, interesting matchup. Just wanted to spectate another game. I don't discriminate against ranked or unranked or Judgment or anything like that, but I just try and take the good games as I see them. So hopefully that was enjoyable. Hope you learned something from it, and this is Way to Fail with more scrolls, and we're going to be spectating, playing ranked, and do all kinds of fun stuff. See you next time.